Let's talk about some non-pharmacological options.
Oh, we love them.
Okay, given our current global circumstances, a lot of anxiety, right? A lot of change.
Yep.
A parent is noticing their children with some mild to moderate to severe anxiety symptoms. What are some strategies, some non-medication strategies that parents can do to help with this, maybe short-term and long-term?
Yeah, we always go back to this. I think Cathy coined the term mental health hygiene. These sort of everyday, I think it's yours, Cathy. I always credit you with it. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's in some book I haven't read yet. But things you need to do every single day to safeguard your mental health, to create a foundation where you have a running shot at emotionally regulating throughout the day. And that involves sleep, diet, exercise, movement, meaningful, social interaction. Yes, of course, that this is really the bedrock of mental health. So going back to the basics with your child and making sure there's enough structure in the day where they can check all of those boxes. They're eating well-balanced meals. They're sleeping. The AAP says even teenagers should be getting 9 hours of sleep. That's a lot of sleep. You have to work hard, and you have to create some structures and routine to, set the stage for solid sleep. And then I think, especially through the pandemic, there are a lot of online resources for relaxation, meditation. It's not a 60-minute meditation. It's an in-your-pocket, 2-minute breathing exercise. They're accessible. They're often very low cost. Companies like the Calm app and Headspace, online Cosmic Kids Yoga. These are short activities that really promote emotional regulation and are very easy to access.
And we will provide some of this stuff after the interview here online so that parents can get directly to some of these resources, because they really sound amazing. Given today's everybody has internet, everybody has a smartphone. There's no reason why parents shouldn't be able to seek this amazing information, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. Marty, I want to pick up on something that Sammy was saying. Sammy was talking about structure. A lot of times our kids do better at school than they do at home, and they come home and they're terrorists, and we think, well, why does the teacher think that my kid is so fantastic when at home he's a wild thing? Well, part of the reason why is usually at school there's a routine of what's going to happen when, and very often there's a picture schedule or a written schedule, or of course for older kids they know the periods of the day, right? But kids know when's lunch, when's recess, and most kids really respond favorably to that. And then when they come home, especially during the pandemic, it's been really hard for people to have structure. It's like every day is an extenuating circumstance, but it's not possible to have an extenuating circumstance that's 2 years long. Now that's our new normal. And so what parents are challenged with doing is figuring out ways to maintain structure in the house. A really big one that we deal with all the time is sleep. So if kids sometimes they don't go to sleep at 8:30 or 9, but they can stay up and watch documentaries or play on their phones until 11, or mom and dad are so tired they fall asleep without taking the phones and the kids are up until 3, you can imagine that engenders a lot of conflict, right? Because now the kid's tired at school, or they were looking at things or buying things they shouldn't have been messing with on their phone, etc. So when parents have really consistent rules that the internet goes off at 7, the devices are turned off at 7:30, the children are in bed at 8:30, the parents are done communicating with children at 9, everyone's sleeping until 7, it decreases a lot of the opportunity for conflict.
I'm so glad you made that point, because I know that my child thrives on structure. When mom and I are tired and we just don't want to deal with it, we've had a long day, I have to admit, Sometimes I'll hand the phone over. There's a little game on there that he plays that I don't even know. He's racing a car or something. It's not even like horrible, right? It's just like a race car game. And
Right.
I get into this habit where, well, he's quiet. I'll go do something over here because he's quiet. I get into that habit after a few days sort of getting out of our structure. Wow, I notice a difference. I mean,
Right.
you know, he's talking back, he's more anxious, his behavior has changed. It really makes a big difference.
Right.
Right, right. Well, one thing that you can simultaneously do is counterintuitive, but they actually go together. While providing high structure, you can also give kids control. So, like, let's say you have a really physical kid, and you might say, okay, it's Saturday morning. Do you want to go sledding or do you want to go to the pool? What would be more fun? And so you're not giving the choice of whether or not this kid is going to exercise, because he has to exercise or he'll detonate and we'll all suffer. But he can choose what to do.
And
And
he
there's
has control.
Lots of choices all day long.
He
that we
can do
give
whatever he
kids.
wants, and mom and dad are happy with both choices, right?
Right,
Yes.
that's right. They're safe, they're healthy. The final thing I would say about mental health during the pandemic is we're seeing a lot more agoraphobic children because families, especially if the parents are really fearful, are staying inside. And Alaskans have this singular opportunity. Even if you're really concerned about COVID, you can go outside. And we would really urge people every day to get their children out of the house. Because once this seed is planted where the kid thinks, if I leave my house, I am unsafe, that can be really hard to undo. And especially if you think about 2 years in the length of a child's life, for a little kid, a 7-year-old, that's a long time.
And problem solving, the logistics of that can be challenging. You know, it's the end of a workday, you have to make dinner, you can't take your kid outside. I love to employ neighbor kids, enthusiastic, you know, late high school, trustworthy kids who will just walk on over, pick up your kid. It'll be great. These high school kids have a lot of energy around 5 o'clock. Yes, yes.
They feel like they're
yes.
important.
And they get paid for it. Maybe they bring their family dog and it's 2 birds with 1 stone, and they take the dog for a walk and pull your kid on a sled and go sled for 40 minutes. That can really be the difference between a peaceful bedtime and like a never-ending protest bedtime, if they've gotten their fresh air with the awesome neighbor down the road.
And really, go ahead, Cathy.
Oh, and that kid, that teenager's parents are so thrilled. They're like, I'll pay for it. Just take my teenager out of here. Everyone wins.
You know, and we're in Alaska, so in the wintertime, there's lots of snow and nobody wants to go on the roads. I mean, it could be as easy as taking a walk down the street, building a snowman in the front yard, right? I mean, it could be, you stay on your property and do something, right? Just get out and be active.
Right, and it's easy, I think, in the darkness too. We now have headlamps next to all of our doors going outside to remind us if it's dark, if we hadn't made it on our walk, we just throw on a headlamp, and the kids think it's hilarious. So just a quick little Amazon, outfit by your front doors to remind everyone you can go outside when it's dark.
Funny story. I wasn't feeling well a few weeks ago. I didn't want to walk too far. We walked literally half a block down the road. There was a big snow pile. The kids had,
Yes.
the kids had a couple of headlamps. 45 minutes, I was able to sit there, watch them. There was no communication between the 3 of us.
Right.
They loved it. A snow pile, right? And some lights. So it really doesn't take big expensive gyms and jumping in trampoline parks and all that stuff. I mean, obviously that's nice, but it could be as simple as that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, okay.
Sometimes it does take longer to get the kids dressed properly than actual time spent outside, but it's always still worth it. Even if it's 20 minutes getting dressed and 20 minutes outside, that 20 minutes of fresh air is so vital, especially now. I think recess at school is getting shorter and shorter, and we just can't bank on the fact that our kids get fresh air every day.
And really, parents need to put this structure in daily. Would you recommend that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. So, like you were saying, get home from work and you start the structure, right? It's like you were saying, dinner, bath time, reading time, and walking outside is just as vital as all that.
Right. And for older kids, written schedules are great. With my toddler, we use a picture schedule. And, it's a Velcro thing. I can change it every day. And that's a lovely, she gets home from a little preschool and we say, okay, which of these pictures do you want to do next? Do you want to have your snack and then go on a walk, or have your walk and, and do it in the reverse order? And she's thrilled.
And this is a great topic, because when I grew up, you just got home and you just lounged, right? And with my special needs child, we tried that for a while. That didn't work.
Right.